Good night. Good night. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Environmental Coffee House tonight. Movie night, movie night. I decided to do this to come back and make it a bit easier and just have a little fun. But I think it's going to be fun interspersed with some serious topics because this movie, when I first watched it, it was like I said, holy shit. There's a lot of things that you could look at in the movie and say, well, what was the movie foreshadowing? And it was made in 1961, and are we the future now? I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. And while you're all joining, I do have an actual intro for that, for the movie. And I'll say hi to everybody, Poppy and Nadia, Bella and Karen singing away, and Kim, thank you for moderating, and Bella, thank you for moderating. It's Nina, hi, you're moderating too. Wow, we got the whole crew here tonight, which is great. Uh, but we're gonna pretty much stick to this because I'm going to do the Sunday pajama show, and that's where we're going to talk about all this other crap, like current events and everything else. So strap in. I hope you're all ready. And Old Sage Joe, it's great to see you. I got to set up the other part, and I'm still trying to watch my my ums. But we're going to watch the actual intro, and then we're going to talk about all this because I had so many thoughts in this movie, especially the foreshadowing and even metaphors, some of the comparisons that were non-literal, but we're not going to watch the whole movie, although I have it set up. I didn't make clips. It was just too much work. And but I do have it set up so that we can pull it. And no, you're not late, Jackie. Nobody's late because now I'm going to play the actual intro that I prepared for this. So hang on. So here we are. That was the actual beginning to the show. And there's a lot of stuff to think about. So Already 4 commercial interruptions. I didn't set it up like that. Oh, I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. I didn't think I did that. Well, anyway, all right. So let's talk about this. The first thing I want to do is we're gonna look up this movie in Wikipedia. So let me get this going before we actually look at clips, and because it's there's a lot of hokiness about the movie, I thought, and then we're going to look at some of the comments that other people 710 people watched it. But do you think 710 people will be here? So far, it doesn't look like it. It looks like we've got 43 people on a Friday night. Oh, well, no matter how hard I try, it doesn't matter. So, this movie was made in 1961. And yeah, of course, it was hokey, right? It was hokey. But we'll go through, because of course, we're not going to watch it, the whole thing. And it was a science fiction film released by United Artists. It says it deals with alien abduction, but I didn't quite feel like it was alien abduction at all. I really didn't. And when the flight disappears, a rocket scientist finds himself on trial in the future for his part in designing a weapon that has destroyed all life on Earth. And I don't know if that's quite the whole thing, but the plot is Transcoast Airways Flight 68 leaves LA on a flight to Washington. 3 scientists on board the transcontinental flight have been summoned to a meeting at the Pentagon concerning the Beta bomb, which is a new bomb design, and the rocket to deliver it. Mid flight, this Douglas DC 6 airliner mysteriously begins to climb over 10 miles high back at the airline headquarters operations. And it's so funny. Oh my God, airline headquarters. Can you imagine the airline headquarters that was in this movie compared to air traffic control today? But anyway, they just kept going up. And the engines stop, the passengers pass out, and there was the crazy guy, Walter Cooper, he was trying to convince the others that using the secret bomb is essential. He jumps from the aircraft. So we'll talk about this, but they get to meeting the examiner. The trio of scientists leave the aircraft for judgment from those of the future. Are we those of the future? So that's basically the plot of the movie, but you could put so much into this. And no, it didn't. It really didn't have anything to do with alien abduction. So I don't know who wrote this Wikipedia page, but the they 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 find themselves in a moment between time, which explains the stopwatches and lack of heartbeats, which we saw in the movie. And they are shown in brief a future in which their bomb has been used and, having destroyed the atmosphere, has killed off all life on the planet. They are judged guilty and sentenced to live in the moment with no time for the rest of eternity where the future and past meet. And then after Sage objects that the scientists from the past cannot be judged by a future society, they're returned to the present on this technicality. So let me pull up the whole movie, and we'll start talking about these little parts of the movie, okay? Now, I'm going to play like little pieces, and we'll move up, and then I'm going to put up your comments, because that's the main part. Really, the main part is you guys. So I wanted to start off with something I thought was funny about that time. Everybody smoked cigarettes in that time. They all did. And they all dropped their cigarettes right on the floor, if you noticed. I noticed all of the things in this, but watch this one. I have the system audio is on. Hopefully it won't. You tell me if it's loud enough.
Mind if I smoke? Mind if I smoke?
What? Oh, no, no, no. Thank you.
Yeah.
Say, didn't I see your picture in the paper the other day? I've been trying to, place the face.
I'm Carl Morris.
By George, that's it. Glad to meet you, Doc.
I don't think I
Thank you,
can make it
Mr.
louder.
Floyd Jameson.
Mr. Jameson.
Boy, wait till I tell the missus I sat beside Dr. Carl Morris all the way to Washington, D.C.
I wonder, will she be impressed or frightened?
Frightened? With you on our side? The father of the beta thermonuclear warhead? It'll be the other guy that'll be shaking in his boots, if you know what I mean.
I'm not sure I do, Mr. Jameson. Sometimes when I think of the forces we scientists have unleashed without first understanding how to control them,
Right,
I'm
Linda?
slowly frightened.
Where's
for
Linda's
humanity.
comment?
No, not me, Doc. No, sir. Not as long as we got fellas on our side like you keeping us one jump ahead. Listen, the other fella knows that if he makes a move, the whole universe will cave in and clobber him.
Okay,
Right?
so the other fellow. So already we're hearing this was 1961 and it wasn't that far. I can't turn it up. It's up as far as it will go on both the movie and the thing. So you guys will have to turn it up on your end. But already and then I want to bring in your comments, but already they were post World War II. And what happened then? What happened in Nagasaki? What happened in Japan? What did we do? All right. So 1961, people were just still getting over that. And this guy's like, yeah, this is the daddy of all. And they had heard of this guy. Uh, Absolutely. So I had wanted to show you that, but this is interactive, so I want to get some comments up. The other thing was everybody got dressed up to fly. Yeah, it was a big thing. Big thing. Forces we've unleashed without understanding how to control them. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And then yeah, in the beginning, which I didn't play, the 1961 pilots could not wait, really wait for the jets. Yeah, it was like he was saying he it was his last one. And Nina, the hats. Everybody wore hats and take them off when they boarded in the plane. So there's a lot of of genre stuff. We notice if you watched it more than once, you noticed more than you noticed the way of dress and how there was one comment that somebody made on the film itself, watching it that I redid on the channel that the stewardesses at the time, the stewardesses are about his mother's age. So if everybody's not dead, because when I look at these old movies, I look at all these people and go, well, they're dead. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not, but they are. Hmm. So that's like talking about the society then, you know, and and people smoking and dressing up, and it was a more formal thing, flying. So I want to move up a little bit. We'll go. We're going to go to this guy. This guy is the one that wanted the whole thing.
He looks just like his picture in the paper.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd believe me?
Walter, please don't start again. Please don't.
But don't you see, he may be my one last chance. I've been writing to the newspapers every day for months now.
His one
Calling
last
the radio
chance.
stations, but they won't listen. They just won't listen.
You promised to try to forget all that. The doctor said you were to rest.
Oh, if only I could get Dr. Morris on my side.
That's why we're taking this trip, Walter, back to the farm where you were born.
Okay.
We'll find a good, simple life there.
So this guy was already a bit disturbed, right? And then these two start learning that they both were
Thank you.
in the same business,
Well, it's
right?
getting dark already.
Does that bother you?
No, what?
All right, level her off.
All right. So and then there's the pilots, Yeah. Okay,
Check.
so then
Over.
this is where everything starts to
Right.
begin.
Pardon me.
All right, here.
Dr. Morris, I wonder if I could speak to you for a moment, please.
Here we
course.
go.
Um, in private, in the lounge,
Is it important?
tremendously.
Very well. Excuse me.
Of course.
Oh, this is the good one. And then I'm going to put up some of your comments and things. All right. Let's move up. Okay, here we go. Sorry I didn't do clips.
I don't understand.
Well, I read the interview you gave the newspapers. Oh, I couldn't put it down. I even dreamed about it afterward.
Oh, you mean my discussion concerning the possibility of...
Building the big egg, the beta bomb.
Well, that was merely a scientific discussion. No one has built such a bomb or even tried to.
But you said it could be built.
It is a possibility, yes.
Then you're the one to do it, Doctor.
What do we
The
think
only
of
one
this
who-
guy?
You've got to persuade them. It's our one last chance.
And this is the idea that you wanted to discuss?
Well, only part of it.
And what is the other part?
What we do with the bomb after we build it.
Ooh.
We can't give them the chance to build it first and then sneak over and drop it on us. No, we have got to drop the A-bomb first, on them. Wipe them off the face of the earth.
You're out of your mind.
No! Don't say that to me.
Let's talk about who this guy,
Not
who
even the
could
doctors
this
in the
guy be? Not even the doctors in the hospital.
I didn't mean that. It's just that if the bomb is built, it can only be used for defensive purposes, or to retaliate for an attack against us. To consider even for 1 second unleashing such a horror under any other circumstances, it's unthinkable.
You, doctor of all persons, should understand me. It's the only sure way.
No. It's no way at all, believe me. An eye of all men should know.
Ah.
Pardon me, gentlemen. Would you mind returning to your places? In fact,
Okay, so let's get Karen says Henry Kissinger, but think about that mindset. It's happening today. But I want to hear from you guys because this is really about you guys. And yeah, definitely a MAGA politician. Well, that's what I wanted you guys to do, to juxtaposition between what we think these people are. Loie is saying an early Exxon board meeting. I knew we'd have fun with this. But yeah, Linda, it was all about identifying the other and eliminating it as a threat to the status quo, which we are doing now, which is happening now, right now, right now. Yeah, absolutely. It is happening today. The neocons think that nuclear war is winnable. Right? Right? Mm-hmm. And let's see. Sunflower. Miss out on the prestige and attention of a wedding ring and dress and venue. Never! LOL. JK. Not married doll. Just kidding. Not married doll. But yeah. All right. Let me get some more comments here. Hello, climate. Climate chaos is here. Yeah. There's a lot. It's not just about the bomb. I mean, this movie I kept thinking when I said, well, if you had to pick, and I'm using my notes, the 3 protagonists as right now in history, who would they be? And how about in the past? Because I, of course, have what my thoughts were, but I wanted to hear what your thoughts were. Mm-hmm. And I kept thinking of the fossil fuel industry, And well, that comes later. Stop. We're not there yet. No. And he says, yeah, never wanted to be so wrong in my life. But I mean, tell me about how you guys feel about, well, foreshadowing the future, and what's the message when you hear that guy, what the crazy guy. Come on, guys. You've got to have some ideas. Let me see if I've missed anything. Um, Nadia, of course, what made communists evil? Guaranteed housing, employment, and health care, education to enlighten the masses versus it being a mere status symbol for the rich, right? Yeah. The Yarwin technocrats, they were not even imagined in the 50s. BB, I see yours. Coming up. It's coming up. I think I'm behind on the, here it is. Stay away from mathematicians and scientists. Oh, really? You see many of my family in the paranoid guy. Well, that is something to be said. He represents, well, now, my God, he represents a whole movement. A whole movement. You could say it's that. This is the same thing as the transition from axe to chainsaw or to diesel powered tractors. Yeah, could be. Yep. How do I feel about foreshadowing? Yeah, we got way too many crazy guys urging on the aggression as defense bullshit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Paranoid and distrustful, which is a lot of our world. Uh-huh. But I kept thinking about the three procrats. Yeah, that's what I said. MAGA, if you're foreshadowing, right? That he does represent that if we look at it that way. Okay, so we see the pilots are starting to have their trouble. And I thought this was funny.
Will you repeat that?
This is where this is
I see.
this is air traffic control,
Yes, I've got it.
1961.
Thanks for calling. What is it? I'm not sure myself. An observatory east of here spotted something in their telescope. Something they said looked like a plane.
Our flight 60, then they're still okay.
10 miles up and still rising with 4 dead engines.
You must be kidding. But how could that be?
How could
The
that
radio's
be?
been dead.
Missile tracking station picked them up by infrared from the hot engines. Then all of a sudden they lost them. Now, what else could that mean at their altitude?
Well, it could be they lost the signal.
Okay, so
Could a plane
they're
that big
they're
gain altitude
they're
without
perplexed.
How
They're-
could any engine except
they're
a rocket operate above
perplexed.
10 miles?
Okay, so
You're
they're
stuck.
perplexed,
Shall I?
and this is where it gets to be. This is where it gets to be. Let's watch what happens here with this guy. All right, here we go.
Walter? Where are you, Walter? Walter? Walter?
What's happened?
My husband. Where is he?
Don't worry. I'll find him for you.
Wait a minute, don't! Don't stop it!
Sorry
Let
to
me
laugh.
go! Kill yourself! I've got to get away. They know about me.
How did he not get pulled out? I mean, really. Obviously, the movie was not that accurate. So, and this is where all the weird stuff start, but yeah. All right. Okay. We're going to move up. They don't know where they are, but this is funny. Here's all the smoking.
8 hours overdue.
They don't know
Washington
where
time,
they
not a
are.
word.
Can you imagine
How could
this
a 30-ton
being
plane just
air
disappear
traffic
without
control?
some trace? It just isn't possible.
Well, they ran out of fuel last night at 12:30. They're down somewhere.
I guess you're right. If anybody wants me, I'll be on the next flight to Washington to help coordinate the air search.
Yes.
If you hear anything, radio me.
I will.
Coffee and cigarettes. And there's air traffic control.
They've got to be somewhere.
They've got
Big
to be
airplane like that
somewhere.
doesn't just vanish into thin air. That's where they were, though, when we last heard. Thin
Thin
air.
air.
10 miles up.
Yeah. Absolute.
This
Oh my
morning
gosh,
began the
Poppy,
greatest
that's
air search
great.
in the history of commercial
Okay, so we're
aviation.
gonna move a little.
Plane isn't moving.
We're gonna start now watching, and
Have we
this is
landed?
where we're gonna get some stuff.
Let's
And
find
I'm
out.
gonna stop and take your comments here. Have we stopped moving? Pretty wild. Yeah, right. Well, evidently the premier of Alberta thinks it is. Still.
We seem to be the only ones who aren't.
Dead? I'm not sure they are dead.
Unconscious, asleep?
Well, it may be a state of torpor or suspended animation. I've seen something like it in hibernating bears.
From what? The high altitude, maybe.
Are we up high? It doesn't seem to be moving at all.
They're very
Tom,
confused.
I'm scared. I'm scared to
Look
death.
at, I'm scared. She's so scared. I'm scared.
Maybe we're dead.
I don't feel dead.
I don't feel dead, he says.
Kind of peculiar, I admit. I wonder how long we... It stopped. It's supposed to be guaranteed.
What time?
6 o'clock
Pretty
on the dot.
funny.
Mine stopped too. 6 o'clock on the dot.
Are they
Or what?
are they Republicans?
watches
Well,
on
they're
the
building
audience.
bombs and rockets.
Tom, feel your heart.
What?
Who knows?
Mine isn't beating.
That's nonsense.
Yours is stopped too.
Oh my.
That must mean we're dead.
I don't know. I don't know what any of this means. If we are dead,
It must
what about these people? Are
be.
they dead too?
We're dead.
Why are we the only ones up and moving around?
Hi, Jackie.
Maybe we aren't the only ones. If this plane got down in one piece, someone had to steer it. I'll look up front.
You like the music? Yeah.
Tom, come here.
What's wrong?
Dr. Morris is gone. And so is this woman's husband.
Well, he went out of his head and jumped. I tried to stop him and almost went with him. Dr. Morris, I don't know.
Well, do you suppose he could have
All right.
gotten out too?
Let's go a little. Okay.
Missile expert.
Rocket propulsion, more specifically.
This is when they
Just
meet.
the three of us. I wonder what significance.
But do you have any explanation, Doctor? Our watches have stopped. Hearts aren't beating. What's happened? Do you have any idea at all?
I don't know. I'm only speculating.
I'm going to stop for a
Were you
second.
summoned to Washington?
It was not supposed to be monetized. I didn't click monetization. Huh. The other one wasn't either. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Why?
I suppose it's all right to tell you your security clearances are certainly as high as mine.
Somehow I have an idea that where we are now, security clearance is relatively unimportant.
I've been developing a new single-stage rocket with twice the previous thrust, and with a pinpoint guidance system that's foolproof.
Of course, of course.
Then you think that's why the three of us were summoned to a conference at the same time.
The booster he describes is exactly what would be needed to deliver it.
It?
Here's the meat.
Well,
and-
it doesn't
the
exist
meat
yet,
and
is it?
potatoes.
Here and here. But it's possible, theoretically, and feasible technically and practically. Miss Paxton and I have computed the equation, assembled all the necessary data. It's all in this notebook, all the essentials.
So keep thinking about if you had, and we'll talk about this after, if you had a choice of who these three could be or who they represent, all right, and the moral of this whole thing, and have we followed a moral in this story?
All the essentials for what?
The ultimate weapon. One multi-stage nuclear bomb, one giant warhead, to generate a series of progressive nuclear explosions to utterly devastate a predetermined area.
Why do you call this the ultimate weapon?
Because if delivered to the heart of any enemy country, this one bomb could wipe it from the face of this earth.
Whoa.
The whole country, just one bomb?
If attached to the proper rocket, and that you can provide.
So they're coming to the epiphany that they've all got this.
Killing is getting more efficient every day.
Oh, okay.
And so
Killing is getting more efficient every day. That's an understatement. Please jot down your notes because we will definitely talk about that comment. Killing is getting more efficient every day.
for the killers, all three of us. Do you think we should be proud to tell that to our children? If we have children.
Oh, now, really? You don't think for 1 minute anyone, not even the most rabid warmonger, would ever consider using such a weapon?
Why were we called to Washington?
Rabid warmonger.
If it were up to sick minds like Walter Cooper's, it would be used tomorrow.
If it were ever to be built.
Walter Cooper, that's the guy that represents the warmonger thought, right? And Karen said, they represent us stupid apes who, if we can do something, we will do it. Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
Okay,
We'll
let's
find
sit
out
back and
presently.
watch this for a minute.
Where are we?
You have arrived at a moment where time is suspended, does not exist, where the future and the present can meet.
Ooh.
So that's why our watch has stopped. And our hearts aren't beating. Time is standing still.
That is quite right.
Has this ever happened before?
It has never been necessary until now.
Well, since we seem to be setting a precedent, would you tell us why we're here?
To be judged
Judged by whom?
by a jury of the future representing all the people who may never be born because of you.
Okay. So is that us? This was made in 1961. Are we those future people? We were obviously born. A lot of people would say it should have happened and nobody should have been born. Some people, the way the planet, some serious doomers, but yeah, really.
Children I will never have.
Because of the bomb. That's why you don't want to marry.
Okay, I have to stop. Poppy had exactly the indigenous thinking of 7 generations. Of course, these people didn't have anything like that, but that is the thinking that Poppy, I had the same thoughts exactly. And just wait until you see all the people.
Come.
Come. Now, here they are.
These are the accused, brought here for trial before you for the highest of...
So, what do you notice in this movie about what the future people that never get to be born, what do you notice? Look at them. What do you notice? You think that they have a complexion issue?
high crimes.
What crime? We've committed no crimes.
You have conceived a crime so vast, so far-reaching, that we have been unable to suspend time,
Yep.
transcend space, to bring you here.
What is this place?
This is not a place, but space. Time has no meaning
Lightning
here.
rod.
The past, the present, and the future can all meet on equal terms.
And you,
Okay, the past, the present, and the future can all meet on equal terms. I mean, think about that. What does that really mean? The past, the present, and future. We right now are living the past, the present, and the future. If there, how much of a future is there? But that's a pretty heavy duty thing. That I felt that was.
the jury.
We are the future. We will exist someday, perhaps, if we are allowed to come to be. If there is ever a future.
Of course there'll be a future. But what have we to do with all of...
Between you, you have conceived a device so powerful as to determine the future. Look! Let me give you a
Nobody's wearing a
glimpse
tie.
of what may come.
Oh, Chaz, you're funny. Okay.
Look at our Earth.
Look at our Earth. Now, of course, when I looked at these, the minute I looked at this, I thought of Ukraine and Gaza.
After your bomb was exploded.
Oh, and when they did make that movie, they used that was actual photographs from World War II.
But my bomb
okay,
only-
Syria.
And there. Anywhere. Anywhere at all on the surface of the planet. It is the same. You will note that nothing moves. No birds fly.
Why?
Now,
Why?
okay.
Because
Now, here is the guy that developed the bomb, right? And this guy is telling him no birds will fly. And the scientist is saying, why? Wow. How toned down. Why are there no birds? After nuclear bombs go off, why are there no birds?
the birds are gone. Every one.
And then think about this and juxtaposition it with climate change and ecocide and everything that we're doing to the planet.
And even if they were not, they could never fly. Because the atmosphere too
Wendy's.
is down. Nothing can breathe. All life is gone.
The ultimate weapon.
Precisely.
But Dr. Morris's bomb can destroy only a specified area, not everything.
Suppose a small child were turned loose with a lighted match in a
Oh,
gunpowder factory.
absolutely.
Could anyone predict the extent of the resultant explosion?
Only the maximum. The factory would be destroyed.
Exactly. And you, my dear doctor, are that small boy. The lighted match is the notebook in your pocket, the equation in your head. Now can you calculate the results?
The destruction of the planet. All life.
And with it
Ah, ding.
the future in which we, in the natural order of things, would be born and live our lives. Do you wonder now why we brought you before us
Looking like that.
for judgment?
Do we have the right to say anything in our own defense?
I cannot conceive of anything you might say that could possibly sway the
Oh,
jury's
my
decision.
God.
But we grant you the right
High
to speak
star
in your
climber.
own behalf.
Then isn't it the usual procedure to try a criminal and punish him after a crime has been committed, not before?
You think you've committed no crime?
Dr. Morris has worked out a few equations in a notebook. I've made a few sketches and designs for a new rocket. Miss Paxton has made a few mathematical calculations. We haven't built the bomb or the booster for it.
Now, let me ask you guys to think about this. So he says that they've committed a crime simply because of their work that could be put together, right? Just like, do you think back in the day, did the fossil fuel industry think they were committing crimes? although they knew way back in the 60s that carbon would build in the atmosphere and that it wasn't good for us. Isn't civilization a crime? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
That's true.
But you have conceived them.
Yes. But whether they ever will be built, that's not up to us. The committees, the ones who will give it a green light or table it. How can you place guilt on only 3 people?
There is the great misapprehension of your age, Mr. Endicott. The power for good or for destruction is inherent in the idea, the genius who conceives it, not with a minor official who approves or disapproves its practical application. Once conceived, an idea endures forever. Eventually, inevitably, it comes to be. So you see, it matters not who may momentarily expedite or delay the building of this weapon. One day it will be built, and the next day it will be used. And at that moment, we, the future, are destroyed.
The future's destroyed.
Perhaps the jury may wish to withdraw and consider the evidence.
And her
If we're
pearls are
found
so
guilty.
perfect.
What will happen to us?
Nothing.
Then why go through all this?
By nothing, I do not mean that you will return to your former earthly existence. Rather, the sentence will be that you remain here forever.
But here, in your own words, is nowhere.
Correct, Doctor.
Could that be said about where we are now? Here is like nowhere.
Here you will be suspended forever in time between the past and the future, neither living nor dying. It is the only solution for us. We cannot destroy you, for we have as yet no existence. And we cannot allow you to return to your own time, for then we never would exist. The jury is returning.
Okay. Karen, I'm saving your comment till after.
With no choice, the jury may retire.
Okay, goodbye, jury. Let's go a little more. Oh, and here comes Grandpa.
It's got to be right around here.
They're looking for the plane.
It is hopeless, futile.
Okay.
You've been judged, condemned,
All right.
and sentenced. There remains only that you be frozen in time, and so you 3 shall remain through all the eons of eternity.
Oh, here it comes.
The action that has taken place. It cannot be. It must be. It has not been given us the future to disturb the natural order. How can the future presume to judge the present?
If we do not, there will be no future.
That may be, but it is a determination that must be made by those who do exist in the present, not ourselves. The divine order of the cosmos must never be disturbed.
Okay.
These
The divine order of the cosmos must never be disturbed. Ponder that.
3, dangerous as they are, must be returned to their own time.
And if in their time they destroy our chance of existence,
We can only pray that it will not happen.
I had to laugh.
Beginning to come around.
Okay, they're
Give me
back.
another whiff of ammonia.
They're back. No, okay, I'm going to move up a little bit.
Are you
They're
feeling
back,
better, Mr. Endicott?
and nobody understands what happened.
I think you better sit down.
He
Mr.
gets all
Endicott.
upset, and And this guy is
Somebody
here.
said something had happened to you.
Oh, I just left my seat for a minute. You were asleep, and I didn't want to waken you. So what is this? Is this some sort of a joke?
I'm sorry.
You can't go around making a disturbance like this. I know you got a little bump a while back, but let's be reasonable. What do you say? You gonna sit down quietly?
Doesn't anybody remember anything?
Now, you just sit quiet. We should be arriving in D.C. in about 30 minutes.
But
Are you gonna stay there?
looks like I have no choice.
Okay.
Now, you keep an eye on him. If he acts up again, I'll radio ahead for a doctor.
All right. Now they're sitting there. Oh, this guy.
Amazing how often you run into pests like that in an airplane.
Pests?
Yeah, you fellas that want to tuck your arm. Always wanted to be left alone. You know the type.
I sure
I
do.
certainly do.
Blame him, can you?
It was so real. Everything. Why am I the only one to remember?
Yeah, well, that's sort of what I was thinking,
I think you
Thomas.
should talk privately, young man. Please come back to the
Oh,
lounge.
here we
I
go.
didn't think there was anyone on this plane who still wanted to talk to me.
You too, my dear.
All right, Doctor.
What was it? Well, some guy back there banged his head and came up with some weird ideas.
All right, let's get. Okay.
But now,
Yes, you'd think so.
but there is no such evidence, is there?
Well, I can't find any.
Because it doesn't exist. Now,
Hmm?
I ask you honestly, Tom, which is the more logical explanation, yours or mine?
Yours?
I'll admit that this dream was extremely moving and vivid and disturbing. Perhaps that's why it seemed so real to you. Why we all picture the details so exactly.
But there's one thing we haven't considered, Doctor. The problem. Whether it was a dream or not, our problem is real enough. Your bomb and my rocket.
Well, that's true. And the consequences could be real and terrible.
And terrible.
All right, supposing there were evidence. Evidence to prove that what we experienced and saw in this dream did happen, did actually happen. What would we do
What?
about them then? Your bomb and my rocket.
I don't know.
We
I
know.
just don't know.
We know in real life they would have gone right the hell ahead.
You guys, have you lost your flight schedule?
Now they're gonna land. Move up a little. Okay. Almost done.
She should be on the glide path now. She's in.
Yeah, that is our plane.
Flight 60?
Unless my eyes are deceiving me.
Oh, I love you guys. Boris and Natasha. Okay.
Take over now, will you, Jack? Taxi to the gate. I want to get back there and check why they didn't know our flight schedule. Join me later.
Okay.
So let's get.
I'm in a
Okay.
prop-driven plane. Why?
Here we go.
Nothing
This is
unusual along the way?
where
Unusual,
they have their
except for some
epiphany.
radio trouble and a little extra altitude, no.
Oh, one of the passengers got a little out of hand.
Well, that wasn't anything. Wait a minute. What are you getting at? Is there something wrong?
I guess not. It's just that we were all curious. The CAB, the country, and the rest of the world, actually.
Curious about what?
About what you've been doing with Flight 60 for the last 24 hours.
Ta-da!
24? Flight 60 was due in at 8:30 last night.
Oh, last night.
We couldn't even
get radar to track
me
it
down.
How could a 30-ton plane just completely disappear? There's our evidence.
Okay. Now, the big hopium moment is about to be upon us.
Dr. Morris, our plane was missing for 24 hours. Now, are you convinced?
Here we go. Hopium.
Transcoast Flight 60, Los Angeles to
All
Washington,
right.
just arrived at
And
passenger
there
terminal.
we go.
Passengers may claim their luggage in a few minutes at the floating platform.
The hopium moment had arrived. Yep. There they go. And let me get back to my other screen. Hang on, I have to get back to my other screen and turn it on. Here we go. All right, so let's get some comments up here and talk about what you guys thought. I mean, it was hokey, but to me, when I first watched it, I thought this is definitely, I could say these guys, the three protagonists, they represented the fossil fuel industry, right? They could have. It didn't have to be just the bomb, the big bomb, right? It did. And has humanity ever followed the morality? Was there a moral to this story? You know, of course the end was hopium. He ripped up the book, but we know that wouldn't happen. And tell me, discuss where we followed the moral of the story or not. I mean, seriously. Does anybody think the same way I was thinking about this as far as being the fossil fuel industry? Okay. One person or a small group could be moral, but as the number increases, it falls apart. Governments are worst of all. All right, let me see who I had. Okay. The technology and AI is more destructive than A-bombs. Probably. You know it. You've been studying it. You've been telling me what you're studying. So, absolutely. And in real life, Linda said she would not have put all three of these people on the same plane to keep them from knowing what was planned and to protect them from any accident. Yeah. And Nina, I like this one. I felt bad for the actors breathing in whatever the smoke and clouds in the scenes in 1961. Well, they were all smoking cigarettes. All right, this Karen, I want to. Does anyone think that plans conceived are already in the collective unconscious, so others will make it if you don't? This means that humanity as a whole must choose to not do, to back away. Are there examples of when we've chosen to not do? Have we? Have humans ever backed away or reversed course willingly? This may be the first and only and final time which we must make that choice together, which is why Karen is focusing on educating, which, you know, you're terrific. So you're yeah. And Wanda had talked about the fossil fuel industry. Actually, it was known in the 1850s that's right, when Eunice Foote discovered the culprit, but the global economy was an infant, so no, they couldn't see it. They could not see it. And these were the highlighted ones. And Poppy, my feeble take on this movie is going to take a literal miracle to get people to be rational. Yeah, there you go. I do definitely feel that is a good comment. But did you have fun? I mean, it's been an hour. That was the whole point, was, you know, a little deep thinking, because I kept thinking, to me, I was paralleling or metaphorically thinking the fossil fuel industry. I couldn't think of three people. Then I'm thinking, well, okay, if these protagonists, could they be, if they were today and now, who would you think they could be? Do you have any names? Yeah? You liked movie night? Okay. Yeah, because it was light. It was light. We didn't. Sunday, I have a lot to talk about on Pajama Sunday, but I did want to do movie night because, you know, nearby wall is stained with the activity of tanning leather. The two approaches to. I don't know if that was a comment. Yes. Okay, you said it. Elon for one, could be, and they don't think they think the future is Mars. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, definitely. Well, a lot of people did watch the movie. I mean, 700 watched the movie and 64 showed up, which I'm happy. I'm happy. Just keep liking, and I'm sorry, I will check why it was monetized when I didn't click monetization. Usually they don't like my stuff and I'm not monetized. So I'm really surprised that ads showed up. Absolutely. Yeah. Going to Mars is acknowledging failure. Absolutely right. Yep. I think you are right because they want to escape and it's kind of nutty, don't you think? All right. So we need a toilet flush. We absolutely need a flush of the day. I would like to know, I want somebody to pick out a flush of the day. And then after this show, if you want to go over at 10 o'clock, Matt is at the Letter Hack is interviewing a gal named Ravana, who is a political talkie. So so you might want to go over there and completely change track. Yeah, we could watch Doctor Strangelove. All right, we'll have to think about that. Maybe we'll have movie night every now and then. I don't mind putting them together, and as long as I didn't get a copyright on this, and I make sure I don't want to have. So Lois says we should flush the fascist Barbie press secretary. Okay, I know she she has nothing to do, but okay, we'll give her the first flush. Whoop! Oh no, we gave her the first fart. All right. Yeah, we don't like her either. No. We'll even do a couple. And we want to flush Elon to Mars. Okay, one more. We're flushing Elon to Mars. There we go. Goodbye. All right. All right. Hi, Susan. So the movie reminded you of Stephen King movie The Langoliers, where the plane goes through a time rip and all the passengers disappear, but the pacemaker's knee and hip replacements are left behind. Ooh. I would probably definitely get a copyright, though, if I did that one. I don't know. You have to be careful. But what I do is I rip it, and then I upload it on a different channel to see if it gives a copyright, and then I use it. I don't want to abuse somebody else's work. I'm going to stay human and leave with the happy ending. Love you all. Aw, you're so sweet. Hi, Donald. Hello, Donald. 16 months of membership. Yay. Thank you, Donald. It's great. And then, look, I'm on time, and we can all go over to the Letter Hack because I can't do, let's watch a Kurt Vonnegut themed film. All right. Well, you seem to like this, and so did I. I really did enjoy it, and I did think about all of this, and it brought me back to thinking about film and the exposition, which is the background info and writing and foreshadowing, all of it. So it was kind of interesting as I was getting better. Yeah. Dr. Strangelove was just on. My husband and I watched it. So much fun. Ooh, Catch 22. All right, well, I'd have to make sure I don't get a copyright, but a lot of the older movies are not like this. They're okay. They're okay, definitely. But all right, well, this was very cool. I very much appreciate everybody coming, and just for something that wasn't so serious, although you really could take, I mean, bombs are serious, right? Definitely bombs are serious. Climate crisis is serious. All of the juxtapositioning of everything from those days. And I kept thinking, we are those faceless people from the future that are here because we haven't been, although how many countries, it was just very, very white. How many countries don't have a future or didn't have a future? Think about it. And yeah, we are out here. Yeah, I'm glad you had fun. I'm really glad. Yep, don't forget to do this. And oh, thank you, Nadia. You're a sweetheart. Check out A City on Mars by the Wienersmith couple. I can gift it on Audible or Kindle or something. If nothing else, 100% shoots down Mars Fantasies. All right. If anybody you can go into our Discord and find Nadia that way. Okay. The man who wanted to use the bomb is just like Putin and Netanyahu. I actually have to say that was pretty good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, because they're the insanity of people. Like, everybody could represent somebody in this movie, even though it was an old hokey movie, you know. And we all noticed the cigarettes being smashed on the floor and all the silliness and all that. But yeah, definitely. All right. Well, listen. Thank you for coming. I am getting better. I'm recovering. I still have a little bit to go, like, before I can lift more than 10 pounds, which I can't even lift more than 20 anyway. But I'll see you Sunday for Pajama Sunday, which I definitely will talk about some things that are coming up, ideas, current events, things like that. This tonight was specifically focused on the movie, and I really wanted people to think, and that's why I asked the questions, you know. That's why I asked the questions. Think about these things, because when I watched it and I thought, wow, this movie just made me have so many thoughts about who those people are or could be and where we are today. Absolutely. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you on Sunday. Okay. We'll see you on Sunday and 11 a.m. And maybe we'll do this again. And I'll take the ideas that you've put down and we'll definitely, why not? Why not? All right, guys. I love you all so much. I do. Thank you. And I missed you, and I'm glad to be back. I have to get better, but I'm getting better. I mean, I'm going to be better. So, yeah. No, Tommy. They're not. No. All right. Peace out, guys. See you on Sunday, 11 a.m. You can go to the Letter Hack now if you want, or do whatever you want. Bye-bye. Thank you.